Devil May Cry, Devil May Be the most exciting anime of 2025. Netflix's Devil May Cry is an anime original adaptation inspired by the hit video game series developed by Capcom all the way back in 2001. The franchise went on to have many follow-up Devil May Cry titles over the years, all met with positive audience reception. The series centers on the demon hunter Dante and his efforts to thwart various demon invasions on Earth. I personally have never played a Devil May Cry video game. Heck, I haven't even seen gameplay footage of the video game series. That being said, when this Netflix anime adaptation was announced, many of my friends were excited for it, and so to join in on the hype, I decided to check the series out with basically no expectations. Boy, was I surprised. Right away, the series kicks off with a bang with the intro song Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, capturing the hell yeah punk rock attitude of the early 2000s. This opening kicks down the door and sets the tone perfectly for the general tone of badassery that this show delivers on constantly throughout its run. Much like its video game counterpart, the Devil May Cry anime follows Dante, a former hunter for hire as he attempts to foil a demonic invasion on Earth, headed by the powerful demon known as the White Rabbit, all while he is being hunted by the government organization known as DARKCOM, or Dark Realm Command, under Vice President William Baines, who is certainly meant to represent some of our political figures from the early 2000s, more specifically Dick Cheney. Mary, the leader of the DARKCOM combat team and ruthless demon hunter herself, comes into conflict with Dante throughout the series while also striving to head off the invasions from hell. This anime is a high-octane, action-packed adventure that takes place over the course of just days, but feels like months. The series opens to Dante casually confronting demons, establishing that he's had a long history of fighting them off. The demon that he's battling is clearly after his amulet necklace, which is later revealed to be an essential piece to an interdimensional portal key to hell. We are also introduced in the first episode to the White Rabbit, who represents the faction of demons that are all fighting to take over our world. His character design and voice acting pair together for a menacing threat. I don't believe that the White Rabbit is a character from the game, but here in the anime, he is one of the best parts. Often a story in conflict is only as good as its villain, and in this case the villain elevates the story exponentially. Anytime he was on screen, I was scared for our characters while also being enthralled by his imposing force. Whether it's luring people into traps, extorting people to doing his bidding, or just brutally cutting someone in half, whenever the White Rabbit is on screen, I found myself fully leaning in. Mary, who is also referred to as Lady by Dante, was also a standout character that really took me by surprise. She is a badass fighter who stands toe-to-toe with Dante, and while being less prominent in the story, certainly shares the spotlight as a central character. As the story explores the plot and characters, she shifts her allegiances with Dante throughout. At certain points, she is actively trying to kill or subdue Dante, but at other points in the narrative, they work together and even have an implied chemistry. Throughout the anime, she is given some of the best moments and line deliveries that really stick with me. Not to mention her character design is amazing. To be honest, all of the character designs in this show are very visually interesting, and each have a lot of character and attention to detail poured into them. In the 6th episode of this series, things really kick it up a notch, and we are treated to 2 flashback sequences interspersed with each other, in which one we are learning all about Mary's tragic backstory, the slow unraveling of her father's sanity as he turns himself into a demon and destroys their family and their home. Meanwhile, we are seeing the White Rabbit's origin story, a downtrodden boy who gets lost to the demon world, where he gains a community but is still seeking a place to call home. He eventually finds his way back to the human world as an adult with his newfound demon family, but is met with a fully grown Mary who attacks them upon their arrival. This entire backstory is shown through 2 distinct art styles separate from the main one. I thought the stylistic choice was dynamic and really drew me in as a viewer to their backstories. It also firmly sets the 2 characters, Mary and the White Rabbit, apart, and sets them up as star-crossed adversaries. 2 sides of the same coin who had their lives disrupted at a young age and are both doomed to serve out their days seeking out retribution for what they lost. For Mary, she wants to kill every demon possible as revenge for losing her family to demons. And for the White Rabbit, he doesn't feel accepted in any world and wants to tear down the barrier between the worlds, burn it all to the ground, and start anew. Even though Dante is the main character of the story, it's these side characters that really helps elevate the plot and sets it apart in an engaging way. On the other hand, Dante's plot is one of self-discovery and perseverance. Not only are demons after him, but Darkcom is also trying to tame him to serve their own goals. All the while, he has to come to accept that he is in fact half demon himself, and his blood is the final piece to holding the line between our world and the demon world. Dante's tragic backstory and mysterious lineage makes for a very compelling main character for the audience to ride along with. One of the ways that the series shines is within its action sequences. Not only is the series packed with fun action scenes, maybe the most I've seen in an 8-episode run of an anime, but they also feel unique and refreshing. The series uses the characters' surroundings to aid within their action scenes seamlessly. One sequence that particularly sticks out to me the most is earlier on in the show when Dante is on a high-speed chase on a highway, following the White Rabbit on a motorcycle while simultaneously fighting off demons. All set to the score of Last Resort by Papa Roach. That's right, Last Resort by Papa Roach. The different ways that they had Dante navigating the traffic, jumping on and off of this motorcycle while still managing to engage in combat can only be described as hell fucking yeah. Matching this sequence with Last Resort would have sounded crazy to me on paper, but in the series it just works perfectly. The scene is perfectly punctuated with Dante actually using his entire motorcycle as like a battering ram before returning to riding it, while one of the demon remarks, "Damn, he's cool." And I'm with the demon. That was just sick. I mean, I know that this sounds silly on paper, but if you go and watch this scene, I challenge you not to start pounding on your chest because I thought it was just so much fun. The season comes to an epic climax when the White Rabbit's identity and true motivation is finally revealed, and all of our characters come together in an ultimate power struggle to keep hell from colliding into our world. While our characters have temporarily solved the issue, they make sure to acknowledge that the underlying problem has not yet been addressed. The series ends with a montage of our American military now having the upper hand, invading hell with organized strike teams to exterminate its population. In a moment of even more inspired scoring, the sequence is set to American Idiot by Green Day, perfectly reflecting the narrative view on capitalist and domination culture, which I believe the show would make a case for it not only being wrong, but feeding into just a further cycle of violence. There is also a lot of religious commentary and theming throughout the series. Not only are they just fighting an army from hell, but through the Vice President Bane's character, we see the framing of that fight shift to being that of a holy war. The religious commentary was interesting, but the series doesn't dwell on it for too long, and I hope that it's a layer that we can dig more into in the future. I really don't have much bad things to say about this anime. If I were nitpicking, I'd say that the demon designs in general are lackluster. They feel simple, like something I could have drawn up myself as a kid. But again, that is just a nitpick. Devil May Cry is a series that knows exactly what it wants to be, and at no point does it hesitate within its execution. The anime managed to introduce a lot of characters and has set up multiple plot lines for us to look forward to in the future of the series. And at the time of this recording, a second season has already been greenlit, so fans will have a lot to look forward to soon. Dante and the entire series overall deserves to be immortalized in the Hot Topic Hall of Fame. So there you have it. The Devil May Cry anime is the epitome of early 2000s emo anime music video culture, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. What did you think of this series? Did you have as much fun with it as I did? Do you hate the music, whereas I just think that it's so charming? And another question, will we get Linkin Park for Season 2's intro? I need Linkin Park to step up to the plate here. But that's all I've got for you guys. Clearly, I enjoyed this show, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. This is definitely a mix-up from the typical animes I've been watching, but I had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, if you have any other anime you'd like me to discuss, or if you have any thoughts or feedback to me, please reach out. I would really encourage it. And if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. As always, my name is Darius, and remember that I love you.